Oh, it feels good to be live. Oh man, what's going on, everybody? We are back. The Nosebleed section is back this season. Finally, finally. It's
A
been
little early, but finally.
it's. I mean, we've been trying to do these podcasts for like the longest time, but life life happens. That's all we could say. Life happens. But we're here now. Let's make the most of it. But we're getting into our first crack of the 2024 NFL Draft. Very early look, as my co-host, as always, Jay says. How you been, man?
I'm
Uh,
chilling, life be lifing. Struggle is real. We all struggling. But you know what? We can all have a little fun projecting, where these young men are going to go and spend their careers, possibly destroy them, possibly make millions of dollars. Something casual, you know.
you know, same old. World keeps on spinning. I feel that. Uh, well, we're going to jump right into it. So we're using PFF for this simulator. We were going back and forth between PFF and PFN. Um, Obviously, we know there's all the crap happened last year with PFF trying to charge people for different crap. I think even now, like you have to pay to be able to do like rounds 5 through 7 or something on this. I'm not worried about all
Something like
that.
that.
But at the moment, the PFF or the PFN rankings were a little weird. So,
Well, I will say I trust the PFF ranking more because my guy, Tampa Bay Trey, is in charge of the rankings.
mm,
Trevor Sycamore from PFF. Trust the guy. Check if you. I don't mean to plug nobody else's podcast, but like the NFL Fact Change to me is like the go-to podcast for the NFL draft. So like I
okay.
trust that word. I trust his rankings. The fact that they kind of talk through like how they go through things, it's like all right, it gives you definitely a better understanding. Which to me is like if I can understand why you did it, I may not always agree with it, but if I can understand why you did it, then like all right, cool, like I can rock with you. Like I think it's cool. So I kind of like these rankings a little better.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to change. It's obviously going to change. It's just the
Obviously,
first. How many times does this thing change in like a month before even the draft itself? How
I
many
mean
times?
too, it's also the middle of the season, so like it's at the point where like we've seen enough film of a lot of guys where it's like, all right, we get like a relative kind of feel of where all these guys are in their
Yeah,
development. It's right before bowl season where like all the overhyped stuff starts to happen, and like guys get blown up, guys get risen and fallen right before draft season. Then draft season comes and the board looks different. So like I feel like this is a nice little place to start because again, this is just based on like body of work and a little bit of help.
yeah. Then of course, you're going to get your you'll get your regular uh, when free agency hits and everything. All the different needs that are up here for teams is all going to change too, because the team might need a guard, but we picked up 2 in free agency, so that need's not going to be so much of a need anymore than it was. So there obviously still be some teams that are definitely going to still have needs regardless post or pre free agency, but um, all this stuff is going to change a million times before April hits. But yeah, let's jump into this. I know you're taking pick 1 because
I
I
am.
am one, and we're not trading in this one either. I think we've said right.
No, we're not trading. Not yet. Not yet. It's still too early for trades and situations and things like that. So, I think it's better to just kind of call it straight. Even though I will like make comments when I'm like, okay, this should probably be a trade. Like I don't really think with the way the board fell, like this makes sense for this team to sit here. So like they should probably move back or move up or things like that.
Got it. I agree with that. So let's see. Let's get into it. Let's switch over to PFF. We already have everything pulled up, and we're
Yep.
going to start the draft. And at pick 1, you were on the clock, Jay.
So
And I
with
already have my idea of where you're going, but I'm interested. What are we
I
doing here?
I think the consensus would be Marvin Harrison Jr. in most cases, just because add that kind of weapon to a Kyler Murray and all the receivers that they have suddenly don't become as mediocre. I guess is the best way to put it. But I'm gonna go in a different direction, just because they used their pick last year. They kind of did some gymnastics, got some really good assets back, but ended up picking Paris Johnson, who they parked on the right side. I'm gonna give them their left tackle for the future, just to kind of since we all know they're not getting out of Kyler's contract. Like they're just not. And I think the talent drop off to me, because again, we also have to factor in that Arizona has another pick. And Arizona's second pick is in the top 15. So I feel like the drop off between, and I'm saying like Marvin Harrison is in a world by itself. Like, I just want to say that Marvin Harrison's in a world by itself. Okay, just that just needs to be said. I'm not saying that, but I'm thinking in terms of positional value, you get more value at number one going in a different direction and using the second pick to go and get your number one or 1A, 1B guy. So with that, I'm going to take Olu Fashanu so that they have their bookend tackles in back-to-back years for Arizona so that like Kyler Murray can be protected so that we don't have to worry about those injuries anymore. So I think Olu Fashanu just makes way more sense here than going to get a Marvin Harrison and then you have to go and take a tackle at 11. Where we all know, like, once you get out of like the top 5, the tackles kind of they definitely become more hit or miss than getting the number one guy at the position at the time.
Okay.
Now, not to mention, Olu's definitely the best pass protector, and he's getting better as a run protector. So,
okay, I told you, like, personally for me, like, I watched, and I know it was one game, but, and again, being a Penn State fan, I knowing, like, I'm not gonna say he's just written up for every draft board because the kid's young. He's only, I think he's young.
He's like 20.
I think he's turning 21 in December. So I know he's young. I know, like, but to me, like, you had your biggest game of your career was an Ohio State game, and JT Tuioma just dismantled him, like, took him to the woodshed. Like, he got destroyed that game, and to me, it was just like, damn, like, this is your game to be like, I am the best tackle in college football, and you blew it. Like, like he blew it big time. So,
I understand, but I would say, like, as much as that's a thing, and I definitely understand, you also have to look at the total body of work.
Yeah.
To me, the total body of work speaks more than having one bad game.
Yeah, I agree, but also, again, it's just tough for me to look past it because it's like it's the biggest game of the season for your team. Like,
well, that's also because you're a Penn State fan, so you're a little emotional.
Well, but even biased or non-biased, Penn State Ohio State is the biggest game of Penn State season every year, unless you're playing. Other than that, it's Michigan, who they play this Saturday. So you're going to have another opportunity to showcase yourself because Michigan's defensive front is good too. So, and you're everybody knows that. Like, Penn State's just like the third guy always in the Big Ten because you always have Ohio State and Michigan are your two biggest matchups. Then after that, it's just like you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, you gotta show out in those games. You'll have your games against Iowa, who has some good defensive pieces, and Minnesota plays tough, and Rutgers this year is looking good, and they have some pieces too. They have Henry Melton. They have a corner that's supposed to come out. That's like a third round grade on him. Like, Rutgers got some pieces too, but like in that game, he got his ass whooped, and it really showed a lot to me. First overall pick, like I said to you before we started, I was like, it's going to be Marvin or a tackle. Like, like, I knew it was going to be Marvin or a tackle, so I'm not surprised. I'm sitting here with pick 2, and I'm the Bears. And, I mean, to be honest, like,
I feel like this one is obvious.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm going Marvin. Because,
really?
Yes, I'm going Marvin. Because, I mean, you're sitting here on the clock at 3. And I mean either way,
that's a layup to me. So I mean,
you take Marvin, you're giving, because regardless if you take Caleb, you take Drake, or somehow, some way you pass on both quarterbacks and you keep leaving with Justin, which you're not going to, and nobody really can. If Ryan Poles is sitting here in this position and he passes on both of them, he's be fired.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Again, like, I get people. There's still people that like Justin Fields. People that still think Justin Fields could be good in this league. I get it, but
here's my thing. Here's my prediction. I believe that this is going to be the year where the Falcons make a big move, and I think the Falcons find a way to trade for Justin Fields. I think the Falcons are going to try to, whether it costs them a first round pick or not. I'm not 100%, but it's
That'll
going.
be interesting.
I think, given his roots in Georgia, given the fact that he is a run first quarterback, and given the fact that you just kind of need him to make the layups, and you can have him really with that offense, you can have him slow burn because now you have Bijan, you have
You'd have that.
Cordell, you
People,
have
people are
Tyler
gonna
Algier.
look at him like Vic. People are
Yeah,
gonna look at him like Vic.
but still, like you can almost kind of use him in that way too, and he has.
I'm not saying in the wrong light. I'm just saying like that's what's gonna happen.
And I think at that point you would be able to reset the clock the way you want to, and be able to garner the assets that you need. And clearly, with this third pick, I feel like it's obvious. Well, it's not obvious, but I would say Caleb's bad is bad. Like his issues playing in structure are definitely noted. He does a lot of Superman stuff, but he doesn't always do like the right things. But I still think that his highs are better than what Drake May's highs are. And that's not saying either one of them are bad, because I think both of them are potential superstars. And with that, I'm going to go with Caleb at 3, because I feel like for me, it's as long as I take Caleb at this point, I feel like you can almost, in a lot of ways, call me crazy. I would have taken Caleb at 2 and looked to trade the third pick a little for teams that want to jump the Giants for teams that want to jump the Giants for Drake.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay. We're not I get that. We're not trading scenario.
We're not, no. We're not trading it, but I'm saying like the strategy to me would be to take Caleb at 2, because now you create a fire sale for 3. And in doing so, it's teams that want Marvin and want Drake. So you get the best deal possible from 2 different sectors of teams. Because I think the wide receiver class, though Marvin is one of one and he's special, the drop-off isn't as big as some other positions. So I feel like you could move 3 to, because with the Bears, again, they still need an overall offensive overhaul. They need more picks. They need more assets. They have a crap ton of money. Even with signing Montez Sweat, they still have a shit ton of money left. So I feel like strategically, I think the pick for 2 should be Caleb, and 3 you do a fire sale. But if you're in a situation where you believe in Justin, this scenario works too, because then you take Marvin at 2, you give him an all-world number 1 weapon to go with DJ Moore, and now you're in a situation where you can help build out the rest of that offense. So I think either one is fine. Especially you look at a team like the Patriots. You look at like the next, albeit like the next 5 teams. Any one of those teams could trade up. Like, and every one of those teams needs a trade. You know what I'm saying? So I think that from a strategic standpoint, I think if Carolina doesn't suddenly start to win, or Chicago magically gets a couple where they have a pick in between, they're in great position.
No, I would agree with you. I would agree. Like I said, and for the purpose of this draft, I do like what you're saying too. Though you take the one person, you take Caleb, and it's just like at 2, and then like you said, or it doesn't matter. I get it. I get your logic behind it.
I think ultimately this to me is definitely determined on what do you want to do with Justin Fields, because I think teams are going to call in this offseason to try to salvage what they can with Justin, because again, the running is all world. So if you go to a team like the Falcons, who their whole offense is predicated on running, and they're winning games like just running the ball with Desmond Ridder not like making mistakes or not making mistakes, I feel like Justin Fields, as much as he struggled, he's still cerebrally a better quarterback than Desmond Ridder. So he'll make better decisions, and you can clean up a lot of like the throwing motion stuff that you need to fix, or at least you'll have the time. You'll give yourself the time to clean it up anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Like, I'm just thinking of Justin on the Falcons, and I mean, with him and Bijan in the backfield running like RPOs and everything, like
And then you
that
still have Tyler Algier. You still have Cordell Patterson. Like you still
Cordell
have
Patterson, still have
like you
Kyle
still have
Pitts,
all of those guys, and then you can kind of run.
You still have Drake London, like,
And both those guys you can run as like big slots or X's, or even if Justin's a little off and he goes a little high, now you got like a basketball team to go up and get those.
oh yeah, it's like
So
2-6-5 receivers.
Yeah, so it's like you definitely it's a better situation for Justin too. So, and of course, I think he's going into like the last year of his contract. So you can probably sign him to like a short extension where you don't have to pay him a lot of money, even as a quarterback. So you save money that way too.
So I'm on the clock at 4, and honestly, I feel like this is like the pick that I have to take.
Yep.
Like this is like the pick that, you know what? You know what's crazy? I was reading somebody's logic last week, and I wanted to respond back like, "Shut up, you're an idiot," because the person had. I'll tell you why, the person had us taking Brock Bowers at 4, and I was just like, like I had to just like deeply inhale, like this isn't worth my anxiety.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth my anxiety going up. Like,
it's not.
I was just like,
there's a reason why I've deactivated X, like, and removed the app from my phone. Like, I can't do it anymore. I need my mental health. Like, my health was suffering. I can't deal with that level of stupid. Instagram's enough. I can't deal with that level of stupid. I'm sorry.
I was just like, there's no way you're trying to tell me to take Brock Bowers at 4 if you're the Giants. There's no way. Like, have we not learned? Like, have we just not learned? Let me go make this pick. All right. We already know what's coming. The Giants are taking Drake May. If this is how the board falls, we take Drake May, and I'm not mad at it at all. I mean,
no.
Like, you can't be, like, as soon as Daniel Jones got hurt, he tore ACL, people legit already ran to social media and started saying, "Thank you for everything, Daniel." Like, they've written this man off already. Yep. Everything's come out. Like, is the Daniel Jones era over in New York? Is it over for Daniel Jones? This is the last time you'll see him in Giants blue. Like, it's not the last time you'll see him, but put it like this. Like,
you'll see him in preseason.
That man, you'll see him in preseason. You know what's probably going to happen?
So the Giants can be like, yo, like, his knee works. His knee's fine. We can trade him.
Yeah, like, he's going to come out. I think the initial report said he might not be ready till October anyway. But, yeah, they're talking about he might not be ready till next October. That was the initial reports I saw in Daniel. But they're talking about he could potentially be week 1 or whatever else. Regardless of that, what's going to happen is, and what may happen, they may sit here and try to trot him out and be like, oh, Daniel Jones, like, cool, blah, blah. It's going to take that man one time to miss an open receiver before Giants Stadium is like, get out. He's going to go out, and they'll put Drake May in, and he'll take his bruises and his lumps, but you got one touchdown pass to throw. You throw that one touchdown pass, it's a wrap.
He's a savior in New York.
He's it. That's it. Like,
yeah,
that's it. Like, you want to – I understand that O-line's an issue. I get it. And the Giants, I can't say they haven't been trying because they drafted Neal, and Neal hasn't worked out thus far. I still want them to move Neal inside, bump him inside so he can play a guard position, because as we were talking before we started, I still think he can work better if he has his space condensed. I still think he has a good enough size to be able to move left and right, because, again, you don't have to worry about these damn, like, speed rush linebackers that are 230 pounds that have the agility and the speed of just a freaking cheetah flying off the edge, dipping under your arms, getting to the quarterback in a second and a half. Like, you don't have to worry about that as much playing guard.
Right.
And I think you're strong enough to hold up against some of these top D tackles that are heavier and stronger. Like, you're a strong dude. He has a good run blocking grade. But what he's proven is that he cannot work in space. Putting out on that island at right tackle and having just a D lineman to speed rush around him, it's not working. So I still want to see them be able to try to maybe move Neal inside to a guard spot and give him a chance there. Because, look, not for nothing, like I said again before we started, when the Giants moved Eric Flowers into right guard, he actually looked all right. and he left, and he went to the Commanders, and he looked right for the Commanders, and then he went to the Dolphins, got a 3-year, $30 million deal from the Dolphins, and he looked out right there too. So it's okay to change my position. Like again, another thing is not for nothing, but I think Bobby Johnson is an awful offensive line coach, but I think he needs to go out this season too. But that's not this podcast. But regardless, I know we want to fix the line. We've put Neil into it. We've signed some people. We put JMS into it. Like, and we'll address the O line at some point in the draft as well. I would understand. Yo, Hit, what up? What up, Hit? It's been a minute, bro. Should have had you on here too. Should have had you on there. We gotta do another one, Hit. You definitely gotta come on to another mock draft. Yeah, it's just I know you want to address the O line position. The only other position that this is the crazy one. But if he's sitting there at 4, I'm taking Marvin Harrison.
That's a big if. Like that is a very.
I know it's a very big if, but if he's sitting there at 4, I have a hard time passing on him.
I would not blame you. I would not blame you.
Hard time for everything you just said. He is a whole other type of receiver in a class of his own. Now, if I'm sitting up here and if I can get him, I got a burner in the Hyatt. I got a mismatch nightmare in freaking Wandale. I still got, if he can stay healthy, I got Waller. I got Bellinger. We're bringing Saquon back. Like, if we do that, like, I got some pieces.
Yeah.
But I need a quarterback. Like, yeah, that's the main thing. But if Drake and Caleb go and a tackle goes first, like you just said, if Marvin's somehow sitting there at 4, I'm running that podium. Maybe I can take 2 of those. Maybe I take my 2 seconds, or maybe I can take 1 second and a 4th and move up. And maybe Penix falls, and I take a chance on Penix or something. But sheesh, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
all right.
I definitely, and I hate myself for having to make this pick, but taking my bias out of it. Here's my thing. This is the pick where I think the scenario with Chicago moving up or down for that second pick, this is where that comes into play for me. Because I think, from what I'm hearing, there's a very good chance that either Bill Belichick won't be there as a coach or he won't be there as a GM. I think if I'm a new GM, I'm trying to figure out anything I can to move above the Giants to get Drake May. But if I cannot do so, just looking at the depth chart, like Brock Bowers makes sense because, but again, getting pieces to me without replacing Mac Jones doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Mm-hmm. So they're not in the position to replace Mac Jones at the moment. So with the fact that like Trent Brown is an older player, Michael Onwenu or whatever his name is, he's okay, but like overall that offensive line is not fantastic. So here I'm gonna just take the guy who I think is definitely a Patriots kind of player, and I'm gonna go with Joe Alt right here.
I'm not mad at that. I mean, I get it.
The only other pick that I would have considered at any point would have been Laiatu Latu to replace Hightower, because Hightower is getting there and is injury prone. But I just think that, again, I feel like the class of offensive tackles and the caliber of offensive tackles, you got to get the good ones while they're there, versus the edges where like the Patriots have gotten creative with finding edge talent later on. And I feel like once you get a GM focused on roster building in there, if Bill's still there, he can coach up those guys.
Yeah, that's gonna be one of the biggest offseason stories I really follow. Like, is Bill gonna still be there? And if he is, in what ways he's still gonna be there? Like, that's the one that I'm really thinking too. Like, because he's been there for over 20 years, right? Yeah, he's been over 20 years. Like, that's gonna be. My thing is, if he goes, then who's next guy up? I think a lot of people might look at like Gerard Mayo.
Maybe you could also look at a situation where, I hate to say it, Josh McDaniels might come into play for the Patriots. But because again, he's also a Patriots guy. He's a Patriots. Yes, there are Patriots people. There's still Bill O'Brien. There are those pieces, those guys that went other places didn't work, but it wasn't New England. You know what I'm saying? So that if Bill leaves, like it opens up a can of worms. And that's if
That's very
Robert
true.
Kraft wants to keep the Patriot way, like from the Bill Belichick tree. They could also go in a completely different direction and like blow the doors off the whole thing and completely change the culture there in New England. So who knows?
Yeah, that's also true. You're not wrong about that either. I'm sitting here at
I'm curious where
six.
you're this because this one to me is tough. This one is very tough.
Yeah, like, cause so like when I look at again, this is one of the ones where you were saying where I feel like this could be a trade out,
Yeah.
and then I'm looking at their needs versus the people on the board, and I'm really looking at two. The one thing that's really screamed out to me, or stood out to me, I should say, is I'm not thinking Malik Neighbors. I'm not thinking a receiver.
No.
Because the only reason I'm not thinking a receiver is because they've proven that they can work with receivers that aren't first round picks. Like Van Jefferson was good for them. Cooper Kupp's been amazing for them. Puka Nacua has been amazing for them. None of these guys have been first round picks. Like so,
Robert Woods was amazing for them too.
yeah. Like so, if I'm looking at that, I'm like, I don't have to go get some big name receiver because it's not necessary. Like
Right.
So it really only brings it down. I mean, I don't know enough about Newton or Fuaga, to be honest with you. I know Fuaga's probably like, as of now, from what I know, he's the third best tackle in the draft. From what I know. Newton, admittedly, I don't know enough about. So I'm really staring at Bowers and Latu.
Here's my thing. I think this is complicated because we don't know what Matthew Stafford's going to do, what Sean McVay's going to do, what Aaron Donald's going to do.
Right.
Those are the three biggest things because any one of those dominoes falls, it changes everything about what the sixth pick can be. Because it's like if Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay are coming back, I feel like you can go defense or you can take a swing early on a quarterback. Like you can get one of these lesser refined quarterbacks because they can sit behind Stafford for a year. Or 2 years.
But I'm not taking him at 6. Like I'm not taking because QB3 right now is what Penix. He's not going. I'm not taking
Penix or Bo Nix at this point.
I'm not taking either of them at 6. Like that's what I'm saying. Like to me, this is like the trade back scenario. Like
right.
Because like I can't justify taking one of them at 6 if I know more than likely they're both going to be there. I think Penix isn't going to go before 20.
I disagree.
And I think the highest Penix goes is 15.
I think Penix is going to benefit from completing this year healthy, the game he played against Caleb, and then you look at the All-Star season and then the draft circuit. I think Penix is going to greatly rise in a lot of people's eyes.
Okay. Well, like I said, and I like Penix. So
I think Penix has all the tools. It's just a matter of is he going to stay healthy? Like that's Penix's whole thing. Is he going to stay healthy?
He has not proven that he can yet. So
he's had like catastrophic injuries. But again, I think the narrative changes if he makes it through this year. He makes it through the All-Star circuit. He makes it through the draft thing, and you get those medicals back, and he's clean and clear.
That's fair. That's very fair. Like I said, there's a lot of dominoes here that. But I wouldn't mind him in that Rams offense either.
No,
they throw the ball down the field. I wouldn't mind him in that offense either.
Yeah.
But at this point, I don't know. There's still too much.
I think the more likely talking point would be like, is Aaron Donald done?
Right.
Or
you don't know because he's on a year-to-year basis.
Yeah. So it's like, do you draft his replacement? Or do you add to that defensive line? Like that is really where, because like Brock Bowers to me is one of those where like he can go anywhere and be successful. I'm not worried about that. It's a matter of like, if we put him in this offense and it's like great, but does it change it?
My thing is, I think it would. I mean, it's just more of a if you bring Stafford back to me, I think it just becomes more of an explosive offense. I mean, I think you would have mismatches everywhere because I think Bowers is explosive as hell
That's fair.
himself.
That's
And
fair.
then you got him. You would have him. You'd have Nakua. You would have Cup. You'd have Tutu Atwell, and you'd have Higby. Like, and like my thing is like if again it's all ifs, but if McVay is still there, I think they're going to continue to prioritize offense. And
Fair.
I think if Stafford comes back again, you're going to prioritize that. Again, I think it's just a BPA at this point, and I think they would have Bowers higher than Latu at this point. So I think I'm going to go Brock Bowers here on a BPA standpoint. You're at 7 with the Packers on the clock.
So again, this is like the ultimate poison pill for me. But I think the one, let's be real, Green Bay has suffered on offense greatly. Mm-hmm. Green Bay is terrible on offense. But I think the absence of David Bakhtiari is really what is hurting them. So like my first thought would be to go offensive line for them. But then I also have to look at Green Bay's tendency to not go offense with these picks. But I just think that like they just re-signed Rashawn Gary. They just like drafted an edge last year. So I can't for the life of me justify looking at that team and be like, oh, we're just gonna go and get another edge. Like it just doesn't make sense. This one is it's tough. Like it is really.
Yeah, it is. This is another pick that I didn't want. Like I very happy he took the odds, bro. Like
you have TJ Shelton. Like you have so many pieces on the defensive line. So like,
the one thing I can say,
the offensive linemen, the offensive tackles. Excuse me.
The tackles, I got you.
Yeah. So
Latham.
That's what's tough here. Like it is so tough to me. One
thing I could say, I could pitch one idea to you.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I can think of right now, at least for them looking at this list, yes, you can go BPA, you can say Latu. We all know the Packers aren't going to go Neighbors because they don't give first down receiver ever. No. They'll continue to build the defense for anything. And I mean, you got Chop, you got Latu, whatever. But my main thing I would say here, like, you just traded Rasul Douglas.
Yeah. So you definitely could go corner here.
Get somebody across from Jair Alexander. And I mean, you got Cooley McKinstry staring you in the face.
Right. And I get that. God, it's so because it's one of those where I'm like, every time we think they're going to do something, they actually do the polar opposite.
Mm-hmm.
The polar opposite. So it's like, yeah, and then you got Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary and Quay Walker, and so it's like, yeah, Latu doesn't make sense. It just makes no sense here.
It's just if you want to keep adding to that, like a pass rush room.
I get that, but at 7, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like my thought is to go Fuaga just because like it makes sense, but also it doesn't to me because he's still very much a raw prospect, and I don't see him playing left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they would need is a left tackle, even though I think the whole offensive line is trash. So it's like, you know, I'm gonna. You do make sense with the Kool-Aid situation.
That just my pitch.
No, but I mean it makes sense because at the end of the day, there's no Joe Walt, there's no Olu Fashanu. Mm-hmm. Like there's no sure things on that line. Like Fuaga is a large man. Like he's a freaking house. And you don't know if you're gonna get David Bakhtiari back, but I'm not sure that you could make this pick and whiff on the third best tackle or the quote unquote third best tackle and keep your job. So I think I'm just gonna go with the most Packers pick in the world and go with Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Hey,
I feel like that just makes more sense, and it feels like something the Packers would do.
All right. I'm on the clock with the Bucks. Now the Bucks says their needs. They got quarterback, running back, tight end, guard, everything. Honestly,
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I would also be like, I don't think they really need edge because I think those young guys they have on the edge, like, do they need like an upper echelon edge? Sure, but their edges are actually pretty solid. I don't know what the interior of that line looks like. That's where I'm like, maybe.
Yeah, like I'm looking at, because again, it's another situation where it's like, I would love to give him a quarterback, but like we're still in like we're at pick 8. Like I just said no to Penix at pick 6?
Yeah.
I can't say yes at 8. So it's like,
yeah, I mean,
like there's another one where I'm like, dang, like I could go Latu just to keep bulking up, because no matter who's there for the Bucks, they always seem to love their defenders. But I'm honestly looking at Malik just because I know Godwin and I know Mike. I think one, if not both of them, are on the way out.
right.
So that's the one thing that's really swaying me that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
no, I definitely would understand. But I also like, what does their secondary look like? Because like you have Pat Surtain, and then like that's it.
Yeah, who?
You have Pat Surtain. I mean, wrong team. I'm wilding. I'm looking.
Yeah. You're looking at your pick, man. You're looking at your next pick. You're looking at Denver.
No, like Tampa Bay. Like the back end of Tampa Bay is sus. Not gonna front.
Well, I mean, you got Winfrey back there. You got Carl Davis. You got some solid pieces on that secondary. Like I won't say that they're world beaters, but I think they're some pretty decent pieces back there. You have Carlton Davis. You got Winfield.
I mean, you got Carlton Davis, but then like across from you got Jamel Dean, which is like, all right, like, okay, but like, I don't know.
It's tough, and the only reason I won't touch that is because I know the Bucks I believe they just re-signed Jamel Dean to a solid deal too.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, if you go Nate Wiggins, right now is the second best corner according to PFF.
Yeah,
where does he fit?
That'll probably change, honestly.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think so too. But where does he fit in all that's my question.
That's definitely a good point.
You know what I'm gonna do?
What are they? I mean, they don't have. I mean, they run a 3-4. So like, I don't know if you want.
Yeah, the only thing I was looking at was Newton, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do this.
You got Vita Vea in the middle, so.
Huh?
So you got Vita Vea in the middle, so like,
yeah.
Newton, you're gonna do what? You're not gonna do what I think you're gonna do. Oh my god.
What do you think about to do?
Dallas?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm not going Dallas.
I know you're picking Bo Nix.
No. I just said one, if not both, the receivers are going to go after this season.
Okay. So who are we taking here? Ooh. Okay.
Like you replace Mike.
Yeah, no, I listen, I get it. I definitely get it.
Replace Mike Evans, man.
It's definitely a size thing.
Yeah. I believe Mike's already talking about this his last year in Tampa. Godwin's gonna do, I don't know, he might be going too.
Yeah, so they may have to double dip on this one.
Yeah, and maybe hopefully they can go back second round, maybe make a move and try to jump for another quarterback if somebody's there. Like if Bo falls to the second, maybe take a shot at Bo.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield isn't playing bad ball down there for him either. I know he's
No.
probably one game at a time kind of thing, but still. All right, you're up.
Again, this one is another tough one, just because like it's almost like you want to say receiver, but like also no, because
I kind of hate that they have receiver as a need up here too.
Because I truly think Sean what's his name? Not McVay. What is the name of this coach that I can't seem to think of?
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton. There we go. I think he's going to clean house. I really think he's going to clean house this offseason, and a lot of guys are going to go.
To me, this was the pick that I gave them Newton because they need. I gave them Newton.
Like I could definitely say, because again they have DJ Jones, they have Zach Allen, they have Jonathan Harris. Like, okay, but I know that also they traded a lot of their edges. That's why I wouldn't even give them Latu, because they have young guys there that they really believe in and that have been really productive since the trade of some of like the Bradley Chubb and Randy Gregory guys. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Newton here.
There you go.
I think it's a pretty chalk pick.
All right, now I am the Titans. I'm on the clock, and this one's pretty easy.
Oh, this changed. This changed recently. The last one I did, it changed recently, because the last one I did at Arizona was at 11. Yeah, this one changed it, so that changes things for me. Okay, that explains it.
So at 10, the Titans seem like they got their quarterback of the future with Will Levis. They're loving what he's been doing so far. They got DeAndre Hopkins. They got from last year, Treylon Burks, but Burks hasn't been healthy yet. So I'm giving them Malik Neighbors. I'm giving them another weapon to help Will Levis, help with that development, and just have some type of offense. Especially if if they're talking about potentially trading Derrick Henry. His name pops up in trades like almost every year at this point. So you give the Titans another weapon for a young receiver. You can help D-Hop can coach Burks and Malik. So when D-Hop steps aside, I thought about Fuaga just to kind of shore up the line, but I think there's enough talent in this draft. They can go back second round and find somebody.
I agree. This one is a little tough because it's like, for me, it's like I don't even think offensive line. Because it's like they went out and they got some edges this offseason, but it really just hasn't hit for them. So I think this is a spot for Latu. I think this would be where I would go Latu, because I hate to I think he's so talented. Like, he's not the best at anything, but he's so good as an all around edge rusher that you can just plug him and he'll be successful. And he'll give them that presence that they need off the edge.
I like it. These guys, I feel like the Falcons draft an edge rusher every year.
I know.
Every year,
it's really terrible. But I feel like it would have been one of these two spots, honestly.
Okay, so I hate what I'm about to do. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
But I gotta do it. I'm not gonna be biased here. The Commanders, I was looking at Fuaga because they could need offensive line help because Sam Howell will be running for his life every play. But the Commanders, they want to have a good defense. You just traded Montez Sweat, just traded Chase Young, so I don't know who's playing edge for you on either side right now. I really don't. You got Jonathan Allen, you got Deron Payne in your middle. That's good. You need edge guys, people that can get the quarterback. Go get the next guy. Go get Chop Robinson. Line him up.
I know that's terrible for you. All your college guys are going to all your division rivals.
I know. I hate it hurts as a Penn State fan, but it makes the most sense. Like, you can get Fuaga, but again, I think there's good O-line depth in this draft. I think that the Commanders can find O-line pieces in the later rounds. And again, they predicate themselves on defense in that D-line. Like, you had 4 first-round picks on that D line. Like, so you have Payne, you have Allen still on the inside. And you sit up here and you get somebody on the outside who's a rookie on a rookie deal who can produce next 4 years. So,
yeah.
Here you go.
This one is tough because let's see. They say they need a wide receiver. They say they need O lineman. But for me, it's like that defense is also low key trash. Like they have Quaddy Payne, they have DeForest Buckner, but like, I don't know. But actually, the way I kind of think about it, though, I take that back. I think that I'm gonna go Fuaga here just because like their quarterback is already out for the year after getting hit. Like
I was saying, like
you need bodies to protect that man. That man needs to be protected.
Anthony Richardson's already out for season his first year. Like,
and then I also think Rome Odunze is kind of repetitive to what you already have with Michael Pittman. Like it's a little repetitive now because like. Yeah, you would have more than one jump ball guy, but also Alec Pierce is a big guy. You got Josh Down as like your possession guy. So it's like let's go protect somebody. Like please, let's go and protect somebody.
All right, I'm sitting up here, 14 with the Raiders. This one's interesting because honestly, the top 3 guys here, I can go with any of the 3, and I wouldn't be mad at it. Like,
nah.
But at the same time. My whole thing is this. We just took I say we. The Raiders just took Tyree Wilson last year. They got Max Crosby. So I don't want to go verse. So my main thing is I want to probably go. My main thing I want to go, I'm thinking Rome here. Because I want to put somebody across from Devontae Adams. And they're trying to get rid of I know this is my other thing. They are trying to move Hunter Renfrow. Right. I know they were trying to get rid of him. Trade deadline didn't happen. I don't want to go verse. I don't want to go corner. My only other thing, and I think Raider fans are going to hate if I go J.C. Latham because they saw how it happened. Saw what happened with Alex Leatherwood. And I don't think they want a repeat of that. I really don't think they want a repeat of that. So
I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. I would not recommend it at all.
I wouldn't either. So I'm thinking whether it's a BPA pick or whatever it may be, I'm gonna give him Rome. At least based on these rankings, he's the next best guy up here. I'm gonna give him Rome Odunze, put him across from Devontae, let him learn from one of, if not the best receivers in the game. So that's the pick I'm making. This
is where having that first pick hurts, and having picks that are so far apart between like your first and your second pick Arizona a lot, because the idea of you get Fashanu at 1 and you can get one of the other guys later on, but now most of the other guys are gone. So it's like pull up the receivers real quick. And even see which ones are left at this point. But that's the thing. It's like this one is so tough because it's like they already don't have a lot of ones. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have any ones on that team. And I feel like all the guys that would be ones are kind of gone. And at 15, I don't know if you really want to swing for a guy that's, let's say he has more potential than production. But then again, I'm kind of thinking like Arizona, they already have Michael Wilson, which is great.
Just wanted to highlight this real quick.
That's a very good question.
It is CP's NY Sports Network asks, what do y'all think about the Tyrod injury related to the Giants' tanking efforts? And I think we were talking about this before. We went live. If he comes back, like I do believe that we're going to win a couple games. I do believe with you. I do agree with you, CP. Like that's the main thing I can see. We're going to win, whether the Giants fans want to admit it or they want that to happen or not. I can really see if he comes back, I see us winning maybe 2, 3, 4 more games. And it might just bump us out of that prime position that everybody wants.
I was thinking, it's definitely going to take you. It's going to do what happened to us with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, like it's gonna bump us out, and you're gonna have your fan base that's like, yo, all right, like we turned around, we won some games, it showed that we can do stuff. And you're gonna have the other side of the fan base is gonna be like, you guys are idiots who can't even lose the right way. Like it's gonna be one of those situations. But I do believe Tyrod would give us the best chance out of him, DeVito, Matt Barkley, and we just signed Jacob Eason to the practice squad. So
I'll put it to you this way. I think, let me see. I already took an offensive lineman. There's really no defensive lineman I would take this early. There's no linebackers. I wouldn't really want to go corner here either.
And who are you? You're the Cardinals again?
Yeah. But they have Michael Wilson, who I like, but the issue that I have with the Cardinals right now is that they have no size. They really have no size.
And you're set on going receiver?
I think the issue that I'm having is they went offense last season with Paris Johnson. They got Michael Wilson.
And you just got Fashanu, so
we just got Fashanu, so like what the fuck are their corners like? I don't love their corners either. All right. Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't love anyone on their defense that much to like, hey, I'm gonna pass on them. And considering that the receivers that I would really want to give them are kind of not there, I'm gonna go with Jared Verse here.
Okay. Interesting. BPA in your eyes?
At this point, BPA.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Now, we've already had this discussion, but this is one of those where it's like, I think honestly, because we're so pragmatic, we didn't take certain quarterbacks where I think teams are going to reach for quarterbacks. And it happens all the time, every year. We know it. Outside of the Kenny Pickett year, teams reach for quarterbacks. And there's so many quarterback needy teams that I think a lot of the other skills position, talent positions are going to drop a little bit more. So I don't think that it's just going to be bare bones the way it is right now for this. But we already had this discussion. It's like there's only two positions to take for me with the Jets. But what I really do like the offensive tackle or offensive lineman from Duke, just because he plays 4 to 5 positions on the line. It's like that's my only pitch. It's like, bro, just give us a second Elijah Vera Tucker because the first one keeps getting hurt. So like, just give me another one. Just give me another one. I need another one.
Oh man.
Because it's like, bro, you look at the ones that are available. Like, God, please don't give us another edge. Like, we don't need another edge.
No,
we really don't. Need another corner, but like, I feel like you can wait. I feel like you can wait on the corner. I don't see the point in taking a quarterback here.
No, I mean, not even like Cameron Kitchens.
Again, as much as I would be intrigued with Cam Kitchens, I think our coaching has proved that like we took dudes off the streets and beat the Eagles. So like
that's true.
Like at this point, like I would put as much resources into the offense as remotely possible. Because like the defense, respectfully, the defense really don't need it.
I mean, you're gonna add in the later rounds anyway, like you guys always do. Like
exactly. So like defense really don't need it. Not to mention like we don't have a second round pick, so it's not like we can like, oh no, we'll wait for the second round and we don't have a second round pick. So like we don't have a fourth round pick either. So at least I don't think so. Or if we do, I think we got it from Denver for somebody.
Would you consider trading back here?
It depends on who was trying to come up. Cause like that's the thing. It's like, would Minnesota be aggressive to go and get a quarterback? I don't know. I don't really I don't see anybody here that I could look at and be like, oh, here's a guy that teams would trade up for outside of the quarterbacks. Like they would really have to just love Bo Nix or Michael Penix. JC Latham to me is interesting, but I think I remember reading something that the Jets are kind of set on ABT being a right tackle moving forward. So that leaves like the entire interior for me to I'm like, we need talent there. So that's my only pitch. That's my big like pitch here. But I mean, where would you see it going?
I mean, I tend to agree with you because I don't really think you need corners.
No.
Like I don't think you need corners. So I mean, like I said, if you already have your issue now. My only thing is like, what's going to happen with Carl Lawson? Like doesn't matter.
He doesn't play, right?
And Bryce Huff,
so like we already
have
in Justin and Jermaine Johnson, and then behind him we got Will McDonald.
That's fair. So I'm not going edge.
The only reason why I would go edge at this point is if we somehow lose Bryce Huff. Then I'm like, okay, that's more of a need. Fair. But like if we re-sign Bryce Huff, like there's literally no need. And again, there isn't a linebacker here that I would take in the first round. So like,
yeah, I mean that's where like this and PFN got kind of funky because PFN had, I think it was like 2 or 3 linebackers for first round grade zone. I think both linebackers from Clemson. Yeah, it was one other person that were up there. And there's, like you said, there's nothing up. There's no linebacker with a first round grade this year. I mean, unless you want to count like Latu, like an edge outside backer type. But yeah, there's no inside middle back with a first round grade so far.
So it's like, you know, I'll give
you who you want because you make a very convincing, compelling case. So I will give you I'll give you the line from Duke. I don't see too much, at least based on these boards, like where else you will go unless you want to just go BPA and just keep adding to an already crowded corner or edge room.
Bro, the corners don't matter if we can't stay on the fucking field on the other side of the field. Like, it doesn't matter.
You want your boy Graham Barton? Yeah, I'll give you.
Here's the thing. He's literally his comparison is ABT. So I'm like, bro, if there's another ABT out there, give me the other guy. Like, I want the other guy too. Just because it's like we've done so much fucking musical chairs at this point that it's like, yeah, just give me the other guy.
There you go. You can have him. Shoot. You make your case for Graham Barton, you can have him.
Like, that's the guy to me, like, come April. That's who I'm pounding the table for. Honestly.
Hey.
The Chargers, I mean, they just, to me, it's like the Chargers just lost to J.C. Jackson. They literally, like, the scouting report coming in with the Jets, it's like, if you want to get your offense going, just throw on this team and you'll be fine. Now, granted, because the Jets stayed within 15 to 20 yards, like, the corners were flying downhill. And the corners didn't really have to cover because the line was getting home. So just to kind of alleviate that, I'm going to give them Nate Wiggins, just so like they can start rebuilding the talent on the back end of that.
I like it. All right.
Christ. God.
I don't know if I'm giving him Dallas Turner though.
God, like, why? We don't need another division rival with more speed.
So when I did this earlier when I was running through it, I was considering receiver for them. And to be honest, if you didn't take Wiggins, I was going to probably give him Wiggins because I know Kyrie
Elam has been garbage.
Yeah, exactly. They've been trying to move him. They've been trying to move him. So I'm like,
here's the thing with them. It's like, sorry to keep cutting you off, but it's like there's 2 ways. You can definitely go secondary because their safeties are getting old. And this would probably be around the time where you would kind of start to peak at safety a little bit.
Hoyer and Hyde.
Yeah, like they're older guys. And then you have Mike Milano, who just broke his arm, but we're not even going to go linebacker in the first round. So, like, but you can go, like, bigger safety So like that would be the only other spot I could probably see is like a bigger safety.
Yeah, like my thing is when I'm looking at these two, to me right now, I'm looking at between Latham and Leonard Taylor because since they need a tackle, they also need some interior defense.
Yeah, they need some beef in there.
Yeah, and I know they got Ed, and I think they want to put somebody next to Ed. I don't know quite enough about Leonard Taylor yet, but I'm going to give them Leonard Taylor. I'm going to give them some beef inside next to Ed Oliver, and they're going to keep rolling, which sets you up with the Saints.
Well, what's his face is getting very wow. It's active in the chats. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, This is one guy, Howard Johnson, who hasn't given some type of insight yet. I'm waiting for him to give some type of credible insight.
Okay. Anyway, the way I kind of look at the Saints is Cam Jordan is getting older. Like those guys are getting up there, so you kind of gotta. You kind of need a guy that definitely has the talent to kind of step in. And I think they do need to get younger and faster on that defense. So I'm gonna give them Dallas Turner.
I like it.
I think you can go JC Latham here. Like either guy to me.
That's where I was gonna go.
It's like
You going Dallas?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dallas.
All right. I mean, you set me up because I'm gonna just go Bo Nix here.
I was like, yo, this is like the spot where it's like, all right, you kind of gotta take the quarterback here.
Yeah, I mean, you got Bo Nix. Like you're the Vikings. You just lost Kirk Cousins. You traded for Josh Dobbs, but I don't know if you believe Josh Dobbs yet. So
I'm hearing that they're trying to extend Kirk Cousins. So like,
I did hear that too, but Kurt also was like 36. So I mean, like you can extend the guy, but how long are you gonna extend them? And then on top of that, you still need somebody who's gonna be your heir apparent. So
yeah,
again, not trading out. I thought about a couple other people, but I'm gonna give them their heir apparent, at least as far as this draft and this draft board is falling. I'm gonna give them Bo Nix, so they'll be all right. And you're sitting here with Dallas on the board. Yeah. I'm happy I don't have this mock. You got all the teams I don't want to draft for.
Yeah, this one is
what's their needs based on this board? Running back, center, interior, linebacker.
Nobody I'm taking.
I mean, you got Trice. You got no, I'm sorry.
Again, I'm gonna give him another edge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him another.
I thought he was I thought there was a corner up there for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cooper.
Ooh, that I think I'm gonna go that route. I'm gonna give him Coop DeJean just because like this dude is a straight up dog, and they definitely can do somebody next to Trayvon Diggs. Not to mention Trayvon Diggs just got hurt, so like. You definitely need to beef up. It just makes me feel bad because I feel like Coop DeJean is the obvious choice for the Steelers, but like, because like, you can give him Kalen King. Honestly, they just need cornerback help. They just need cornerback help in like the worst way. They really do. They need corner help. They need corner help bad.
They definitely need corner help. I mean, yeah, because freaking Levi Wallace has been getting torched. I know they got him and they got Jordan Porter. They got Minkah Fitzpatrick. Because I know, and I wonder what Brett would do here. That's what this board. Like, that's what I'm really interested in. What would Brett do? Because I know Brett would want linemen. I know he wants to fix the offensive line.
I mean, at this point, all the guys are definitely more boom bust, and like they need linemen that's gonna like step in right now and play relatively. And you can
I'm looking at Latham. I'm looking at him. Like,
you definitely could, and you would just like do bookend tackles like back-to-back years, and just rock
your tackles, or at the worst, he might be able to kick inside the guard.
Yeah,
like the only other thing I was thinking was giving him Kalen King because you would have Kalen and you'd have JPJ on both sides. It's the only other thing I was thinking. I mean, now unless you want to give him Cam Kitchens and put Cam next to Minkah,
that's wild. It's good. Like they have options. They definitely have options depending on where they want to go.
Yeah, and there's not really a center up here that is
Hell
first
no.
round worthy. So I'm not even gonna reach on that. Again, linebacker, at least according to this, it's like there's nobody here. Like I said, we're rolling off of these rankings, and it's tough to put a linebacker there because I don't know if the first linebacker even touches this board. So
I personally don't think so. I don't think
going off of
linebacker.
PFS rankings, I'm not gonna do it. And
Yeah.
then again, it's the Steelers, and the Steelers will add. I mean, you look at Trice, and it's like, okay, we got TJ, you got uh,
You
Highsmith.
you
You
don't
don't
even
need
need to
any
think
more
about
edge.
it.
You don't need more edge
No,
rushers. But again, they always say
no.
you can never have enough.
As a Jets team that keeps freaking sitting really good, talented edge rushers every week, you can have enough. It's okay to say you have. It's fine. It's fine. Like, it's okay. It's really okay, guys.
I'm gonna do this for Brett. I'm gonna give him JC Latham for Brett
But I still
because I
think at
know
22, like, that's
because
not
I
bad.
know Brett. I know Brett would love to have him offensive line and just fix the
Mm,
offensive line and get the run game going, get some more protection for Kenny.
yeah.
Howard, I do agree. I do agree mostly with your rankings. He said the top 5 teams now are the Eagles, Baltimore, Chiefs, Lions, and then everyone else.
I mean, sure, but I don't see how that's relevant at this point. But go off, bro. It's like, all right, okay.
And he said the Steelers suck. Tomlin about to get fired. Honestly, so I have seen on that front. If this is the thing about the Steelers, we do this every year. The Steelers win just enough games to potentially make the playoffs and make the wild card, and then coaches and execs and all that, they all look at Mike and they're like, "Hey, make the playoffs again. Can you fire a coach after you make the playoffs?" It's hard to keep doing. It's hard to keep saying that year in year out. But
Yeah,
Mike Tomlin finds a way to get to the playoffs every year, so they keep keeping them. Now, I have seen multiple execs and analysts and commentators have come out and said the Steelers are the worst or one of the worst teams in the NFL. So regardless of their record, they're one of the worst, most dysfunctional teams right now in the league. So they are far away from what they were. Um, but I don't know if firing Mike is the right call. Like, I know a lot of this play, he still has the trust of the locker room. I think that's still one of the biggest factors. But I don't. I just it goes back to like the whole Kenny pick. Like, was Kenny really the guy? Like,
yeah, yeah. Did
but
you really?
like,
Could
was
you
he the
have
guy?
not? Could
But
you
with
have
no
not
O
like
line, it's hard.
year? Yeah. Could you have not sucked another year to see if you can get a better quality quarterback?
Yeah, like if you had just lost out on a year and built up other pieces, and you could have came into this season, now you're maybe you're at the top 5, and instead of picking at 22 right now, you're picking at 5 to 6, try to make a jump for a Caleb or a Drake.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's all. That being said, I think for the Texans who've like shocked the world, frankly, at this point,
yeah, very true.
I think Braylon Trice would be interesting just to put across from dude they took last year.
Trice and Will Anderson, Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, just add to because especially because like you have D'Amico Ryan, so like
Oh my
I,
gosh,
I get it.
there's
But
you
then like
going
also,
on Trice?
I'm kind of tossed between him and Emeka Ibuka because it's like
Let me
then you
back
add
up.
that speed that kind of
Ooh,
Brandon Cooks guy kind of
yeesh.
back there too to add to that already like CJ Stroud's already cooking with that receiving core that he has, and you add a burner to that too.
Yeah, Ibuka,
And again,
Nico
that's a guy who's familiar
Collins,
too.
John Mechie, and what's the man's name that just drafted
Noah,
last
whatever.
year?
Um,
Tank Dell. Oh my
Tank
gosh.
Dell, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's tough. But I think too with receivers. Oh man, this one is very tough. Very, very tough.
Where are you going? Where is you
I know
going?
this one's hard. This one's hard. Um, I think in the first round because they've gotten so successful with finding talent in the later rounds at receiver. I'm gonna go with Braylon Trice.
Okay.
Just give him like the other guy off the edge. So it's like now you get D'Amico Ryan like his two edges to really attack defenses, even though they're already playing well.
All right. So I'm sitting here, the Bengals.
Get that man offensive line help stop playing.
Huh?
Get that man some offensive line help. Like, give him that dancing bear that's sitting there. Give him that dancing bear sitting there.
You giving him Mims?
I would at this point, because I'm like, bro, like take a swing on a talented guy that's light on his feet. That, you know, he may not be a finished product yet, but like get his man something. Give him something, because what he got over there, it ain't working. Get that man something.
I'll give him Mims. You're lucky because, I mean, shoot, the way they're looking, you're going to lose Tyler Boyd.
That's the only other guy I was thinking. I was like, all right, probably go and get.
And you might look like Wiggins too. So, shoot, I was going to give him McBuka.
I can see it.
I'll give him Mims so he'll get some protection. He feels a little better about himself. I'll give him Mims.
Come on, bro. Your man hurt his calf and damn near tore his Achilles for the first 6 weeks. So, like, come on, bro. Help that man. Get that man some protection. Give him a bodyguard, something.
All right, here you go. You got the Seahawks.
You know what? Just kind of with the way that contract is set up, like they pretty much, like, their offense is decent, their defense is solid. Like, could they add more to the defense? I'm sure they could. But
oh boy, but what?
I think I'm gonna have the man stay in Washington, and I'm gonna go with Michael Penix here.
Oh my God.
I
get it. It
makes sense. Like, you like guy's super talented and stays at home.
I get it.
To me, it was like, it's either going to be Seattle or I would have honestly taken a swing at him at San Francisco. Truthfully.
Wow.
Think about it.
Penix, San Fran?
Think about it.
Purdy's been balling for him.
Purdy's been balling, but, like, also, you know, it's one of those situations where how long is Purdy, like, again, we're still having that debate, is Purdy legit? Is Purdy legit?
Hasn't San Fran had enough quarterback controversy already?
They have.
You had the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. That you go and you got Jimmy G, you sign him, but then you go and you draft Trey Lance. So, like, what the hell are we doing? And then you go back to 30 as a Mr. Irrelevance. Now you got 3. Garoppolo goes down, Trey goes down, Purdy comes out, leading to a conference championship game when they lost. You trade Garoppolo to the Raiders. You trade Trey Lance to the Cowboys. You brought in Sam, who's a veteran who's just number 2, who's not number 1. And now you're sitting here. Now you want to throw Michael Penix into the fold and just trade Lance.
Keep the tradition going, man. Come on.
Keep the tradition going. You're gonna get Shanahan fired. That's what you're gonna do.
He ain't a GM.
I mean, shoot, but he gotta play with whoever you give him. You're gonna give him, ruin that man's life.
Hey, look, I gave him. Well, you're about to give him somebody else, so there you go.
Yeah, all right. Based on the needs up here, they need either O-line or corner. If I'm following their needs, and I'm gonna just give them Kalen King.
Yeah, just screw the rest of us.
I'm gonna give him a good corner.
Screw the rest of us, right? You know, it is what it is.
I mean, they need a good corner. That's what they need. What up the needs? I would have given them Mims, but you want to give Mims to the Bengals. You're like, yo, Joe Burrow. Did you see his interview the other day? It says something that you learned to do this year that you have to adjust to this year. And Joe was like, oh, running. So he has to run. He's running for his freaking life every play.
Your man is going to lose 10 pounds just in the season alone from running around.
My man is going to have 4,000 yards passing and 500 rushing. So he's going to have it's turned into Vanilla Vic. That man is ready this year. They don't need no line. I'm calling RPOs all day.
See, here's the thing that I don't understand about this, saying that the needs are tight end and O-line. Part of me is like, it's kind of corner too. Just saying, it's a little bit of corner too, because the games that they lost, they got smoked on defense. Like their defense has not been winning them games. So I don't know. I don't know about that one in terms of needs. I don't know. Let's see who we got. And there's no corner I can look at and be like, even though I have been hearing a lot about this TJ Tampa kid. Been hearing a lot about him.
Yeah.
They have Javon Holland, but who's that other safety? I don't actually know who their other safety is. I hate that you have me picking for like all of my rivals right now. Like the only team I didn't pick for was Buffalo. Like this is criminal activity right here.
Howard Johnson, what page do you run on Facebook? That's all I'm asking. Where you going, man?
Give me a second. Where
are you going?
I'm pulling up their depth chart. That's where I'm going.
Oh man. I mean,
Brandon Jones is their other corner, is their other safety. Which like
I'm trying to find a reason to give him Cam Kitchens, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give him Cam Kitchens.
You're trying to find a reason.
I'm not giving him a Emeka Egbuka. Like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Maybe that's me being biased. I cannot fucking do that right now.
I mean, Jatavion Sanders is up there, and he definitely has a first round grade on him for a tight end.
Nah.
Cam.
Okay. I'm sorry, because think about it. It's like it's Brock Bowers and everybody else. And I feel like the second and third round is where you're going to get all your tight ends. It's going to look very similar to that Kyle Pitts draft.
I know Jatavion is a stud tight end too from Texas. I watched them on about of their games this year. He had a couple good games this year. I know he's the number 2 tight end in the draft just coming out. But all right, let's see. As the Jags, I'm going Tyler Nubin here. I want to add to that secondary.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going safety. I'm going Tyler Nubin. All right.
See, I was trying to get in a situation where I can do the shock and awe pick, but with the teams we have left, I can't do that. So, honestly, let's see. What are their? You know what? Did we? I think we did. We gave somebody Leonard Taylor, right?
He gone.
He gone. Okay. I was thinking. I'm like,
At the Lions are another interesting one because, I mean,
they're prime candidate for like a trade out scenario.
I mean, well, if this was me, I'd know who I'm picking right here.
Oh, do tell.
I mean, you want controversy?
Nah, they already got. They just took homeboy last year that was hurt.
Ooh, what?
The quarterback from Tennessee that was hurt all year. From last season.
Hendon Hooker?
Yeah, Hendon Hooker's already on this team. So like, no, I'm not adding any more to that. No, we're not doing that. That doesn't make any sense. Like Hendon Hooker is clearly their parent. We're not JJ too. We're not doing that.
Oh, we can't do it to them.
No,
That's crazy.
that don't even make sense.
That's crazy.
No. Matter of fact, give me Josh Newman.
I'm gonna
give him another corner, add to that secondary, keep building it. Because you are a problem. You are trying to add problems where there don't need to be problems, right?
Oh my gosh. All right, on the Ravens, I'm going to Mecca here. I'm just continuing to add to that offense. You
I
got
mean, the only reason why I would object to Emeka is Emeka's only 6'1". I'd say
yeah,
if you're gonna add to it, like give Lamar somebody actually tall to
yeah.
throw
I
to.
was looking at Xavier. But like I know Donnie Mitchell's there too. But I was looking. I think the speed of Emeka. You have him. You got Zay Flowers on the other side. Like I think the Ravens. I mean, I feel like it's a true Ravens pick. I feel like the Ravens just love speed. Love
No,
speed.
I-
Kevin
but that's the
Duvernay.
thing. It's crazy that
Like
they love speed and don't throw to anybody.
yeah,
Like
word.
that's the craziest thing I've ever
But
heard.
that's what they love. So take
I
more
mean, like,
speed. There you go.
yeah, you're right. I mean, Kansas City is just like, all right, I'm gonna give Kansas City AD Mitchell just because like they got a bunch of hobbits over there. Like they need some size outside after losing
Oh,
Juju.
a bunch of hobbits.
They got some fidgets over there, bro. Like help that man Patrick, please. Like he's still doing it, but they're having to throw low every single play.
Yeah,
outside of the fuck is his name? Valdez Scantling. Like everybody else is under 6 foot.
Valdez at least can kind of run routes, but he just be dropping the ball at the most inopportune times. Like I know a lot of people have expectations for Sky Moore, and he has not lived up to them yet. Tony, forget about it. He's always like in and out. He's always hurt. And then they had Justin Ross had a great preseason, and he was getting ready to do something from him, and he got into legal issues and everything.
Yeah,
so I'm
man.
like
the only guy that really like producing is like Rasheed Rice, and it's like, all right,
yeah,
like this is cool, but like, ain't he like 5'9", 6 foot? Like,
I have to look that up. I don't think he's that short. I think Sky Moore's about 5'9".
Okay.
I thought Rasheed Rice was around 6'2". But I don't know. Like a lot of people were really disappointed in Justin Ross too, because they really wanted him to be like, he was looking good, like he really did, and they just I don't know. He just kind of fell off. He just got in trouble. Stupid issues. Well, on our last pick, we got the Eagles up here. It says they need receiver, and I'm like, I don't know.
I don't see that, but all right.
I don't. I will ask you, Howard Johnson, if you're still here.
Yeah, I mean he's out here being a peanut gallery. So I mean, apparently, just because we said Lamar doesn't throw deep, it means Lamar doesn't look good. It's not Lamar's fault he's not throwing deep. It's literally the way the offense is throwing up that he's not throwing deep. That ain't got nothing to do with Lamar.
No, like
I've never said anything about Lamar, but all right.
I'm sitting here. Do your Eagles need a receiver? That's why I want to know.
Do they really?
I mean,
that adds to it. He's an Eagles fan. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
we all understand. Yeah, but
just for shits and giggles, give him JJ.
Yeah. I was going to scroll to the bottom of the list and click whoever was at the bottom to be honest with you. Give you a long snap from Air Force. I'm like,
straight up.
Like, I'm thinking you have the
actually wouldn't be terrible there either. Just because
I mean that's what I'm looking at.
That's what I'm like. Outside AJ, it really ain't got no size, really.
Devonta's 6'1", but he's skin and bones. But I mean, he's good. AJ Smith is AJ Brown's a monster. Like,
that's just it. Like, he's arguably best receiver in the league. Like, it's definitely a toss up between him and JJ at this point.
Yeah,
like it's really like, all right, if you say JJ, all right, if you say him, all right, like I'm not gonna argue with you either way.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Like, I really can't argue that. Like, when you look at it, he really is like. I was thinking because earlier he asked who the guy Howard, I guess he's not here anymore, but he asked who are the top 5 receivers in the league, and I was thinking like if we're going off college rankings because we're doing a mock draft or we're doing NFL, but like and I was thinking NFL, I was just like, well, shoot, number one is at first when I was like, oh, it's Justin, but then I was just like, AJ. Then I was like, AJ is lighting up. Like he is like route running, speed, hands, strength. Like
Power,
he's just like that's the
built
thing.
a
Like
lot.
I don't like Justin has a good route runner, has speed, has hands, but he ain't as strong as AJ.
Nah,
Like
he's not. But he's not bullying people like AJ is.
no, like AJ is a receiver, but he runs like a running back, bro. like,
Yeah.
like
You're not like good luck. Good luck taking him.
yeah, like
Good luck
like
taking him down at that point.
yeah, like Justin Jefferson will catch a hitch or an out route, and he'll turn at you as you're the corner, and you'll be like, I bet, like I'm tackling Justin Jefferson this whatever. Like AJ Brown catch an out route or a hitch and turns at you, and you're like,
You got to make a business decision.
Yeah.
You got to make a business decision at that point. That's how. Let me.
Yeah. If you're
Let
a
me
corner,
shoelace tackle this man real quick.
If you're a corner, you have to be like
let me grab his leg real quick so you can come.
Where's my linebacker help? Like, where's my linebacker? Like
let me just try to slow him down and make sure.
Something like I'll hold his arm and the next person clean him up. Like,
yeah,
I got a linebacker running at me, bro.
Essentially.
Yeah,
like you really gonna try to take that one straight in the chest? Like,
yo,
you trying to come up limp? Like, bro, you gonna be in a freaking, you're gonna be in a hyperbolic time chamber till like Thursday when walkthroughs happen.
I'm like, yo, catch. You see him turning out. I'm just like, all right, like sideline, like I'm pushing you out of bounds because
I'm hand tapping like I go.
Like that dude's a freak, man. Like JJ, I'm like, all right, I'm tackling you. We good.
Yeah, you know,
I'm gonna grab your ankle. You gonna fall down. Like second down.
Good.
Yeah,
man, AJ might like break your hand just stepping on your hand or something like that. Like, nah.
I was like, I'm trying
to play for a couple of more years, brother.
That's what I'm like, dang, like. I had to really be like, yo, AJ Brown could be the best receiver in the league. Like he could just be. Like he got off the Titans and he got into a good situation and he is making the most of it. So I'm like, damn, AJ, JJ, Devontae's got to be up there still because he's still a monster. Shoot, you might Chase maybe at 4.
Yeah, I would say Chase probably 4, and
maybe
then it's
Cup. Cup hurt. Well, he just came back.
So it's like that 5th spot is, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what do these dudes really need? Like, we really don't need nothing,
bruh.
I would say like you could probably do the like you can do the old Dallas thing where you just take the next best like offensive tackle and just let him kind of go through the system because Lane got hurt, and you seen what happened when Lane got hurt. So like, do you want like? I feel like at that point they can kind of take the risk. Like you could go that way.
Just based off of this mock and these needs, I'm just giving him Xavier. I'm gonna give him Xavier based off of those draft, off of the needs of this. But do I necessarily think it's going to be the pick? No.
I think there's going to be a lot more movement.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of trades, a lot of ups and downs. But
what's crazy though is that didn't even realize low key we have 4 quarterbacks in the first round.
Oh yeah. I mean, I noticed, but it's like but they actually make sense. Like you're the Vikings, you're gonna need somebody to be the heir apparent. Like and then the same thing if you're the Seahawks. Like you have Geno, and Geno got a 3-year deal, but Geno is
it's really after the season.
Year.
Yeah, it's like after the season, like you can get rid of him at any point.
Yeah, he's year to year with him. So like,
I feel bad. Like I feel like the Patriots are gonna have to get aggressive. Because I don't know if they can go another year with Matt. I mean, like, does getting Joe Alt help? I'm sure it does.
It'll help, protection-wise, but as a quarterback, he still has to make the throws.
Well, he still has to make the throws, and you got to get him pass catchers. Like, you have to give him weapons, which he doesn't have receivers. And honestly, outside of Marvin, like, you could argue giving him elite neighbors there, and I don't know how many people would kind of go against that. But just for me, positional value, it's like I'll take the tackle and try and get somebody in the second and third round because the receiver class this year is hella deep.
Yeah, you got some receivers for sure. Well, this is our first crack at it. Well,
I'm
I'm
sure.
sure, like you've been saying, it's going to be the first of many, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of changes, a lot of needs changing based on free agency, and a lot of trades probably happening in the upcoming months to the draft and everything. So, and that's it for the first crack at it.
I guess that's
Shoot, that's it. Oh, hopefully you enjoyed it, guys. We'll try to be back.
I'm sure Howard was like a huge fan.
Oh,
Huge. He was
huge,
so active.
huge
Appreciate
fan.
you. I definitely appreciate the engagement.
Oh, I definitely
Definitely
do. I
love.
enjoyed it. Definitely. Well, guys, try to see what we do next time. We're still try to get back in the groove of things. Like we said, life definitely happened this year. Life
Yes, we did.
definitely happened. But thanks for watching, guys. It's been fun. Next time, again, we will try to be back. Hopefully, it won't take us months to get back. Jesus, man. Oh my gosh. Anything before we're done?
Nah, man. Just your typical casual fan, making stupid choices, stupid picks. Gonna wear it like a badge of honor.
Oh man, thanks for watching, guys. As always, check out the Sports Mark. Check out the Nosebleed section. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channels. If you hit that like button, it would definitely help us. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Have a good rest of your evening.